Good morning, everyone. If you would stand to your feet and join us as we sing the congregation song, Imagine, by John Lennon.
Wow, well, you sound really good. Like a week off helps, doesn't it? I know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you, Celebration. Good to see everyone today. I'm Reverend Cherie, and I'm just honored to be the leader of this spiritual community, and I see some people I haven't seen in a little bit, so I'm like, you're here. So it's really good to see you all. Oh, okay, so you're online. If you're online, let me talk to you as well. We are so glad that you are choosing us as your spiritual community. We know how it is. You know, it's like you wake up, you're like, I'm moving a little slow, I'll get my coffee, I'll slip, and before you know it, it's 11:25, and here you are. So we are just glad that you're tuning in and celebrating and worshiping with us. What do I want to tell you? I want to tell you a couple of things. One is we are in the middle of our NVC, communication, nonviolent communication, during our season of radical renewal. We have just completed the second class this morning, and for some reason my glasses are, look at all of you now, so much brighter. We're fogging up there. So we are having several ways that you can tune into nonviolent communication. And the reason I'm really passionate about it is because wouldn't it be an amazing world? We just sung Imagine, right? Wouldn't it be an amazing world if we could be kind to each other, whether we agree, don't agree, love, don't love, but just be human to human, honoring the divinity in each and every person. So I'm really hot on this. NVC is an amazing tool, nonviolent communication. Sandra Vella was here earlier. Sandra, are you here? Okay. She's doing a phenomenal job with the class, and her, Anita, Rick, and Mary Kennedy have all been instrumental in creating this curriculum as well as facilitating it. We also have 2 circles that are doing it. So if you haven't, like, let's say you missed the first class. It's not too late. It's not too late. You can still participate because they're catching you up for what you missed the previous week and bringing you forward. So we have at 2 o'clock today, 2 till 4, Reverend Jenna will be facilitating online a Zoom class. And also, Charles, are you here? Back, okay, just stand up for a minute. Charles Davis is also going to be facilitating a Zoom class on this, and that's Tuesday evenings at 7:30. So any questions, go see that gorgeous man there in the back. All right. And of course, I'll be talking about this from the platform as well. I also want to talk to you about Michael Rhea and Nancy Rhea. Who's familiar with that amazing couple? They've been around here for a very long time. Nancy has been dealing with Parkinson's and now has come to the end of that process. Nancy is in the process of transitioning. She's in the process of dying. And I got to spend some time with them this week. It's an amazing, it's one of the most sacred things that we can do for each other is to hold the knowing when someone is transitioning. And so, Michael has a request. If Nancy has been a blessing to you on this journey, send an email and let them know. And what he's going to do is he's going to put it in his little bucket there. That bucket was made for him by Lisa Adams, and he will read them to her. So I hope that you will avail yourself of this because they are just amazing lights of this community. And to watch Michael just go through that process of like knowing this is all in divine order is just miraculous. And Nancy is home, so she gets to pass at home with her loved ones, and that's like the most amazing way we can go. So I hope you will avail yourself of sending a love note. I've asked our board president, Frank Phelan, to come up and talk the business of church with you for a little while, so please send him some love.
Good morning. So there are 4 things that I would like to discuss with you this morning. We've got a slide that kind of summarizes them. The first is the membership renewal, board nominations, our annual congregational meeting, and finances. So I think we can go to the next slide. So there's the summary, and then the following one talks a little bit about our membership renewal. Earlier this year, one of the objectives that the board set out was to identify our membership. We know with a high degree of certainty that our membership is somewhere between 300 and 4,000. And I'm an engineer, and I can say that with confidence. But we really want to know for a variety of reasons. And so what we're going to be doing is there'll be information coming out for people to affirm their membership within the community. And this is not something that's unusual within Unity. In fact, it's in our bylaws, and it has been in our bylaws for some time, the process by which we can go about doing that. And so I just want people to be aware of it. There can be plenty of opportunities to respond to the confirmation request. And it's going to be simple and easy, what we want to do, make it simple and easy. So wanted to cover that. Board nominations. So starting on September 11th, we will be opening nominations for the board. So if you know someone or if you're interested in participating, you can nominate yourself or you can nominate somebody else, and there'll be information about how to do that specifically. I don't want to take too much time going into all the details, but I do want to emphasize a shift. In 2001, one of the things that we heard from the community was a desire to have more input into that process. And so what we've shifted is how the nominating team functions. Last year at our annual congregational meeting, we nominated 3 people to participate in the nominating team, 2 primaries and a backup, and then the minister joins that team, and a board member is on that team, and then they select a 5th person. Historically, what that team has done within Unity Church of the Hills is accept applications, go through a rather involved evaluation process, and then make a determination as far as recommendations to the congregation on who the best candidates would be. Okay, and really trying to kind of engineer the board to make sure that, okay, the board has all the right distribution of skills and personality types and, experience to have a well-rounded board, because you don't want a board that's completely all one way or another. You want to have differences of opinion. You want to have independent thought. And so that, when we changed the bylaws, we changed it so that the nominating team now will be vetting all of the candidates. So instead of 3 spots open, 3 candidates proposed by the nominating team, if we have 5 spots open, there may be 10 nominees that are vetted that meet the requirements that we have in our bylaws to be a board member. And so what this means is that the responsibility for selecting the board members really is going to fall on the congregation now, which is a great democratization of the process, and there's a responsibility with it too. And so we want to ensure that when we're selecting people, that we're doing it out of a place of principle, and this is an opportunity for us to live in those principles at one more advanced level. So super excited about that. That was something that we heard from the congregation. We changed the bylaws that last year, and this year we're affecting those. So looking forward to that process, and there'll be lots more information to come around it. I'll try and cover the rest pretty quickly because I know I'm taking up a lot of time. We do have our annual congregational meeting coming up on November 13th after this 11:25 service. So if you could save the date. There's lots that goes on at that meeting. We'll get updates on the activities of the church, financial reports on all the departments and so forth, and we'll elect new board members and the nominating team members for the following year. Finances. That was the last piece I wanted to talk about. We're still in the process of emerging from the pandemic, and it's definitely had an impact on our finances. And we did enjoy 2 PPP loan grants that were given as grants at the end of the day. And those have helped quite a bit in us navigating through the pandemic. We are now starting to see the growth in the membership. It's wonderful to see this many people here in church. During the pandemic, there was nobody for a while, and then we had 25 people, and so it's wonderful to see the growth. As a result of the PPP and other efforts, we have some cash reserves. One of the things I did want to comment on, though, we have noticed in the last 4 weeks, we've dropped well below our operational level. We're about 25% below for the last 4 weeks, our operational level. So I encourage everybody to step into that flow of circulation and give what's yours to give to the church so that we maintain a vibrant operation. The good news is that we have cash reserves, and that's primarily due to very fastidious operation of the church. Staff has done an amazing thing in keeping operational costs as low as possible. And so really, let's give a shout out to the staff, okay? So those are the business announcements that I wanted to share with you all today. Feel free to grab a board member if you have questions afterward, and there'll be more information coming out about all of these things, but just wanted to make you aware. So thank you.
One of the things that I just love is Frank. Frank is just, he walks in integrity. He really does walk his talk, and he's a huge supporter, and I couldn't do this job without him. I really couldn't. And Frank is no longer eligible to be on the board, otherwise he would still be wrangled onto the board. So when you're thinking about that process of, wow, is board, is a board thing something that I want to do, that I'm called to do, think about it. I'm looking to, well, there is not going to be another Frank, is there? No. But I'm looking for that kind of deep, profound relationship and connection. So if you're feeling called for that, please don't hesitate. The other thing that I want to say is our volunteer of the month is... Thank you. Thaleen Scarborough. So Thaleen did a little video, so let's listen to her.
Hi, I'm Thaleen Scarborough, and I am honored and stunned to be asked to be honored by the Volunteer of the Month. I started at Unity Church of the Hills this September 2016, the weekend that Steve and Mary said they were going to be leaving in May. And the very first thing I did on Wednesday as a volunteer of that week is I went to choir practice. And I've been in the choir off and on ever since. And I'm delighted to do that. And I encourage anybody that loves to sing, whether you think you're good at it or not, to just come to practice, because anybody can sing. And then I also started volunteering as a greeter, and I did that for a while, and then I became a prayer chaplain. I love being a prayer chaplain. There's nothing more honoring in the world than holding in the presence of God with another person. And now as well as prayer chaplain, I also am an usher, and I love doing that. And I'm one of those people that anytime there's any opportunity to come help and come serve, I'm just going to do whatever's in front of me to do. And I'm really grateful that I get to just encourage you to come join us in serving this beautiful church. Thank you very much.
So Thaleen is in, where are you, Thaleen? There she is. I just want to tell you, she is real. When I started here, she's like, I could even help you unpack your boxes. I was like, who is this? Who offers that? And she's just been willing, and there's a sacredness to her prayer consciousness as well. And so we're just really grateful that you've said yes to so many ways to show up to be of service to this community. Thank you, Thaleen. Are you ready to pray in? I think we've done all of our announcements, right? Okay, let's do this. We've got beautiful Cliff, who has an amazing prayer consciousness as well, who's just a light, who always just pops in and gives me love, unconditional love, and I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Thank you. Just a little emotional.
As we join together this morning in your name, We acknowledge the wonderful, refreshing rain these past few days, and we celebrate our blessings. And as we join together this morning in your name, we acknowledge that we are one community, one family, and one in you. And we say thank you for that too. God, you are the unity we feel here. You are the oneness we experience here. You are the unified energy we know here that is so encompassing, so powerful, so infinite that we've come to realize it is our essential condition. We are simply one with all things. We are one with those all over the world. We are one with those in Jackson, Mississippi. We are one with those in Pakistan and Ukraine and everywhere else. And in our oneness with them, we see their strength. And in our oneness with them, we know we are able and they are able. And in our oneness with them, we know that they are healing. And we know that there is nothing but God where they are, and there's nothing but God here too. And so our prayer is joined with our love, and with their love, and with your love, as we see peace this day. And so it is. Amen.
Morning. Thank you, Cliff. It's finally here. This is Unity's 29th annual World Day of Prayer, and it's on Wednesday. That's in 3 days' time. And so please plan to join us. We have various ways of being able to celebrate this. What we've done is we've had 30-minute slots from 7 p.m. on Wednesday through to 7 p.m. on Thursday, where you can sign up to be a praying member. If you haven't signed up already, you may have missed your preferred slot. And this year, between 10 p.m. and 8 a.m., we're going to do it online. So you don't have to come out to the church in the dead of night, open the chapel. Outside of those times, you can come into the chapel and be a praying member. For participants, there is a free audio clip to get you into the mode of prayer and to thank you as you come out. So you get that. The events culminate on that Thursday evening at 7 p.m. where we get into the chapel. There'll be a 30-minute program involving gathering prayer, reading selections with soft music. Congregants are invited to write their intention for this full faith on Tibetan prayer flags. They're out in the lobby as you go out, the far table on the left-hand side. You can put your intention into writing. It makes it more powerful. And I've got a couple of examples here. The first one is deep connection with the divine. Who wouldn't want that? Well, hopefully all of you, that's why you're here. Maybe you think, well, that language is a little bit too spiritual. Well, this week I was speaking to a fellow member, and his intention for the season is this. Coach, put me in. Because he said to me, no matter what happens, no matter when it happens, no matter how it happens, I am ready to be a full participant in this life. And I was moved by that. And that's his intention, so I wrote it for him. So make sure you come down, sign up, come down on Thursday night as well for the chapel. Today is the first Sunday in September. That means you get an opportunity to be out on the patio being led by one of our prayer chaplains directly after service. The prayer chaplain will open the special time with a few words and close out with a prayer, but the majority of the time you'll be spent hearing from every one of you the gratitudes that you've had this month. Do you know what it feels like to be part of a gratitude circle where you hear other people express their gratitude and you join with them and say yes, so that you then give your gratitude? So join us on the patio directly after service. Hands-on housing. We do this event a couple of times a year, and we're excited to announce that the hands-on housing event this time is gearing up once again. Hands-on housing is an event where volunteers from our congregation, as well as the surrounding communities, sign up to paint for those in our community who need a little help. Now, Margit's outside in the foyer on the left-hand side, sitting by the hands-on housing table. Sign up for that. It's about connection. It's about camaraderie. It's being church, but not being in church. That's the difference. And this is what the Unity's fifth principle is all about. It's being church wherever you are. Rainbow Fellowship. In 2 weeks' time, the Rainbow Fellowship, the new ambassadors, James and Charles, are having a meet and greet luncheon in Friendship Hall directly after service. That's 2 weeks' time. James and Charles are connecting with the LGBT plus community and allies and would love to share what they have planned. Please don't miss this opportunity for food and fellowship and connection. Now, mission statement. This is how we approach. This is how we go out into the world. So if you agree with this, come and join me together by saying, we put God first, celebrate life, serve truth, and empower people to transform their lives. Celebration, come on up.
Wanna be happy, but if I keep on doing the things that keep on bringing me pain, there's no one else I can blame if I'm not happy. Wasted time, but now I can see the biggest enemy, it was me, so I'm not happy. Cry yourself to sleep, shout and raise your hands. It won't change a thing, child, until you understand. If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way. Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say, Jesus, take the wheel. He knows the road that you need to take.
But it only works if
you wanna be happy,
just look at yourself and say,
don't you wanna be happy? I just wanna be happy. But if I keep on giving my heart for people to tear apart, the healing will never start. So I can be happy. Will I ever be happy? Cry yourself to sleep, shout and raise your hands. It won't change a thing, child, until you understand.
And if I'm talking to you now, say
it. If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way.
You've been down too long.
Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say, Jesus, take the wheel. He knows the road that you need to take.
I feel different right now.
It's so easy to complain, addicted to the pain. You give your heart, they push it away.
But I'm not good news for you.
Jesus knows just how you feel. Just let him take the wheel. The love you need, he already gave.
But the question is,
do you want to be happy?
You're tired, then say,
I just want to be happy.
Now, if you really mean that, open up your heart.
Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But now's your chance.
Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah, yeah. If you're tired of being the same, if you're tired of things not changing, it's time for you to get out the way.
Are you ready? Come on.
Don't get stuck in how you feel. Say, Jesus, take the wheel. He knows the road that you need to take.
So easy to complain. believe it.
Jesus knows just how you feel. Just let him take the wheel. The love you need, he already gave.
But the question is,
Do you want to be happy?
take a long time, but I'm ready.
I just want to be happy.
Thank you, Lord, every day for yourself.
Do you want to be happy?
Yes, pull over and let him drive.
I just want to be happy.
You know I embrace what I'm talking about. Yes, I do. And it's so good to be with you this morning. It is to be on this journey with you. Because we are on the journey of the evolution of consciousness. Yes? We are here to look at new ways of engaging with each other in love and kindness, using the language of the giraffe. Right? Putting on our giraffe ears, right? Okay, so it's so easy to be kind to each other when we agree, right? When people are like us, same mind, we're all in that groove, it's so easy. But when people aren't in alignment or in agreement with our beliefs, I'm telling you, it's possible to be in loving kindness with them as well. And that's the work that we're doing here. However, to be able to do that work, we have to be able to step into neutrality. Neutrality means that we become an observer as opposed to a judger and a criticizer, right? But in order to be in neutrality, we have to be aware of what are our emotional triggers. Because when we are emotionally triggered, neutrality is not an option. It's not an option. When your hair is on fire, there's no neutrality, okay? So we're going to look at that today. But before we do that, let's talk about last week, right? A little bit of review. Last week, we started our season of Radical Renewal. We spoke about learning the language of kindness, the language of the giraffe, nonviolent communication, and you had some homework, yes? Okay, well, I can tell you that I was pretty amazed, but myself, I remember us talking about, when you feel. How lovely is that, right? And I caught myself several times being the jackal. I was like, ooh, I just saw that. And I was in meetings with other staff people who were very much enjoying the moments of reminding me. What are we talking about this season? Yes. And it's really, I've told you in the past that I've done this maybe about 4 different times. And once again, it's another layer. I get to go a little deeper with this. I get to really embrace it and look at it from a new perspective. And so I've also asked the staff to be immersing themselves in the language of kindness, the language of the giraffe, because I need the support. And that's why we do it in community, so that we can all stumble together as we learn these new skills and these new tools. So how did it work for you? How did you find using the giraffe language? Was it a challenge? Was it easy? What was it like for you? No, that was not rhetorical. I'm looking for somebody to say something to me. Easy. Show off. Okay, got an easy. What else? It was difficult. What was hard about it? The need part. The vulnerability. Oh, those two together are just so huge. We as a culture, we have not been conditioned, first of all, to know what a feeling is. We always talk about what we think, right? And then to actually be able to say, I have needs. I have needs. And wouldn't it be nice if you would try to meet those needs? What? That's being really vulnerable, so yes. Any surprises? For me, I was just really surprised at how much I'm just so intellectual and I'm so embodied in the jackal language. You know, I'm sorry, the cool kids, it's the jackal language, right? That's being used, being part of the group, the jackal language that we use. So it's really about retraining our brain to be in love and kindness with each other. So I'm going to invite you to continue to use this phrasing this week. Use it imperfectly, because what's going to happen over these few weeks is you're going to expand. It's going to become a little bit more sophisticated and less formulaic, okay? Just hold on and hang in there. It's kind of like, you know, when you take that Spanish class, hola, and you go around, hola, hola. That's all you know, right? And it's like, and then somebody starts talking to you in Spanish, and you're like, oh my God, hola, you know? So it's like that. So just be kind with yourself. This is a new way of being, a new language you're embracing. All right. The other thing that we did last week is we talked about coherence, heart coherence, right? Heart coherence, where we're breathing into the heart space or the energetic field of the heart area, right? Breathing in and through that area. And what does that do? It opens the heart, thank you, right? It connects us, because we normally talk from here up. We normally feel from here up. So what we do when we do that is we are engaging totality. We're becoming one, embracing mind, heart, emotions. And what that does is it allows us to then operate in the frequency of love. Now, the other piece of that is when our heart is open, that we then cohere with each other, right? When our heart's open. And there's this meditation called loving kindness. Have you ever heard of that meditation? And loving kindness is really a beautiful tool that we can use to go into coherence with each other. So I'm going to ask you just briefly, we're just not going to do all of it, we're just going to do a couple lines from it. So I'm going to ask you to just go within for a moment and breathe into your heart center, a slow count. Inhale through that, 4, 5. Exhale through your heart energy source, 4, 5. Do that for a couple more times. And you may start to feel a little sense of calmness, a sense of rightness in the world. And if you're not able to, then this is the moment that you pick something that you really appreciate. What makes your heart open in gladness? Is it one of your fur babies? Is it being in nature? Is it your significant other? And then that helps that open up more on a deeper level. And when you're feeling like you're in that flow, you get to then go into the meditation of loving kindness. And you don't have to read. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. Continue to breathe through your heart space. Think of someone in your life that you love, and now say this to them. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. What are you feeling? What are you feeling? Peaceful and at ease. Thank you, James. Serene. Thank you. Love, yes. Loving. Beautiful. That took us a whole 2 minutes. A whole 2 minutes to get there. Imagine being in that space when you engage with someone else. That's what we're doing. That's our work. There is also a song to this, which is called Loving Kindness, and it's done by Karen Drucker. Karen Drucker is one of our New Thought musicians that we adore, and you can listen to it. So if you're musically inclined, that can set you up for that as well. I use it. You can find it on YouTube, and the folks that are running the classes are also using that. And so over the next 4 weeks, we're going to use both of those, the heart center, the heart coherence, and the loving kindness meditation. All right, so we've kind of recapped. Ready to move forward? Okay. So we talked about neutrality, right? Being in that place of being an observer to just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. But what often gets in the way are our emotional triggers. So I want to talk about what are emotional triggers, right? Emotional triggers are memories, experiences, people, events that spark an intense emotional reaction regardless of our current mood, right? And this change can be abrupt. And the more severe the emotions and feelings are, lets you know you're in a triggering moment. Now, some of these, not all of them, are from post-traumatic stress disorder, right? What does that really mean? Because she's doing the psychobabble thing again. I'll give you an example. As many of you know, a couple of months ago, one of my dogs needed to be put to sleep. His health was failing, and that was Ziggy. And Ziggy was 14 and a half. And in the last couple of months of his life, I started finding myself yelling at him, just yelling as his bodily functions were going. I was just yelling. And I knew because of the intense response and reaction that I was having that didn't make sense to what was going on, that I was having an emotional trigger. But I couldn't figure out what was causing this, what is going on. So we were all miserable in the household, right? The dog was miserable because mom's like, rah, 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 right? I'm unhappy because I'm, rah, 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 rah. And poor Graham, don't even go there, right? So I knew I was stuck and I needed help, so I went to my therapist, and I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I just keep yelling at him and this poor baby. And he says to me, you're in anticipatory grief. And I went, anticipatory grief, you knew that his end is coming, that it was getting closer and closer to the time that you would have to make the decision to put him to sleep. And I didn't want to make that decision. And every time his functions failed, it was getting closer and closer to that, right? So there was the need that he would be with us forever and he'd be healthy and joyous. And the reality that life is this, right? That dying is part of this life. And I have to tell you, from the moment that I understood what was happening, what the hidden need was, why I was being a lunatic, it stopped. It stopped. And the last 2 months of his life was just not just going back to normally how we are loving towards each other, but there was this extra sweetness because I knew this was like our final moments being with each other. You know, when it was just sweeter and just seeing all the little antics and the faces that he does. And, you know, he never met a stranger. Do you know what I mean? Anybody here who's had any engagement with him, he was just a love bunny. And so, you know, we had this amazing goodbye. And on the way to the vet, his favorite tipple was the McDonald's ice cream cone. And he's 5.5 pounds, so you know you couldn't do much with that because it would be a nightmare. And Gray and I stopped, and we got him the cone, and he was sitting in my lap on a little puffy snuggle thing and with the cone, and he was just going to town. And how joyous, how joyous. This is why we do the work that we do, my friends. Not because I'm making you or I think you should. No, for you to have amazing lives. Amazing lives. Because in that 2 months, it was the sweetest 2 months in that grieving. So, when we are having an emotional trigger, my friends, we feel that we are in survival mode. Our hair is on fire, right? We're just thinking, okay, how do I cope with this? We don't care about anybody else's feelings, right? We are hijacked. Our amygdala system, our reptilian system is flooded with adrenaline. We're in that fight, flight, freeze. Now they have fawn and flop as well, right? That's it. We're in survival. Do you think at that point I can be in neutrality? I can be objective? No. No. So this is why it's really important for us to understand what are like common situations that trigger us, right? So it's things like rejection and betrayal. Unjust treatment, I'm like to the moon every time that happens, right? And I have to work through that. That's one of my Achilles heels. Challenging beliefs. Why do you think all the stuff that's going on right now is so hot? We're challenging people's beliefs, my friends. They're all getting emotionally triggered and hijacked. Be aware. In my case with Ziggy, it was about helplessness and loss of control. I couldn't fix this, right? Being excluded or ignored, disapproval, criticism, unwanted, unneeded, or the opposite, needed too much and suffocated, right? Insecurity, loss of independence. And then when we have those things going on, sometimes there are physical components that go with that, right? The pounding heart, the sweaty palms, right? Upset stomach, shakiness, even body aches and pains. So these are all things to let us know, ooh, something's going on, something's happening here. And here's the thing, until we manage and take care of our emotions, we can't be present for anyone else. You ever been on a flight and you're like, oh God, here they come with all those instructions, and the flight attendant goes, okay, so when the oxygen mask drops down, what you need to do is you need to pull that down and apply it to yourself first, and then apply it to others. Do you know why they say that? Because you would be unconscious in several seconds if you don't put your mask on first. And if you're unconscious, you can't help anybody else. And that's really similar to our emotions. If we are unconscious about our emotions, what good are we to ourselves or anyone else? Amen? Okay, so how do you support yourself when you are emotionally triggered? I've got an acronym, CALM, right? Okay, so how do we do this? Not judge yourself. Not beat yourself up. Not go, oh, I'm so spiritual, this should not be happening. No. No. Be in a place of curiosity. Be in a place of curiosity. Oh, okay, what's going on here? When is this happening, right? In my example with Ziggy, I noticed the yelling was happening every time he was losing functionality. Oh, there's a clue, right? So something's going on there. So we're kind of in that Sherlock Holmes moment of just kind of figuring it out, being curious about it. And then acknowledging, I'm human. Humans have emotions. Yeah, that's one of the things we get. All right, so it's normal to have the emotions. So acknowledge them, and then look at what are the thoughts that you're having around that as well. And then take life-affirming steps, life-affirming actions, okay? Because if your amygdala is hijacked, what do you need to do? You need to ground in, right? You need to be grounded. And that usually happens with the 5 senses. So that's seeing, that's smelling, that's tasting, that's touching, that's hearing. So you do walking, you move your body, right? Get back into where you really are. You have a cup of tea. That's why we Brits have a cup of tea. Feeling sad? Oh, have a cup of tea. Feeling joy? Oh, have a cup of tea, right? So you're doing these things to get you back into your body and grounded again, okay? And then the M. Your emotions are whose responsibility? Yes, my friends, yes. No one else has to pay for my emotional triggers. It's my responsibility to manage my emotions. Don't make someone a monster because you can't manage your emotions. Did you hear me? Okay. Okay, so we want to know these emotional triggers so that we have the power to deactivate them. So then guess what? We can be present. We can engage in neutrality with others without being judgmental or critical or evaluative. Being an observer. And here's what Marshall Rosenberg, the author of Nonviolent Communication, says why we want to be observers. He writes this: the first component of NVC entails the separation of observation from evaluation. We need to clearly observe what we are seeing, hearing, or touching that is affecting our sense of well-being without mixing in evaluation. When we combine observation with evaluation, we decrease the likelihood that others will hear our intended message. Instead, they are apt to hear criticism and thus resist whatever we are saying. I don't know about you, but this really is powerful for me, and it explains a lot in my communications, right? Because being an observer without evaluation is a challenge. We've been taught from the time we could speak to evaluate what we see and what we do. And if you're like me, who's also intuitive, an empath, and trained to be hypervigilant, well, I got everything covered there, right? I'm like seeing, evaluating, telling you, criticizing, and then labeling you and diagnosing you, all right? So it's not easy. It's not easy, but we can do it. If I can do it, I know you can. I know you can. Hey, I'll tell on myself every time. Thank you. Thank you. So it's important for us to really be gentle in this process of retraining our mind, right? To be kind, to be observers. And on pages 30 and 31 in the book Nonviolent Communication, there are some really good examples of evaluative thinking versus being in observation. And a great exercise on page 34. So check it out and let me know what you think. Okay. Whoa, 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 feelings. Do you remember that song? Okay, I'm really old, so okay. What do we know? What do we know about our feelings? We know that if our needs are fulfilled, then we usually have feelings that are on the spectrum of what we call positive or good. And when our needs are unmet, then we tend to be on the bad or negative emotions, right, that we label. And I'm here to remind you that all emotions are of God. All emotions are valuable. Because even if you are in that denser emotion of sadness or anger, it's telling you something. It's letting you know you've got a need that is unmet. It's then allowing you to be able to deconstruct and figure out, well, what is it? What is it that I need? And then get your needs met. What a concept. Rosenberg tells us how indoctrinated we have become. We've been educated by people who try to make us feel responsible for their feelings, so we would feel guilty. Yes, feelings are important, but we don't want to use them in that way. You ever hear your mom say, you know, you just break my heart when you won't get that A in school. We don't want to use them in guilt-inducing manner. It's very important that when we do express our feelings, we follow that expression with a statement that makes it clear that the cause of our feelings, our needs. Cause of our feelings, our needs. So nonviolent communication is asking us to flip the switch on our indoctrination, right? And to get clear on what we feel, right? So we have to access those feelings so that we can communicate what our needs are. It's moving from focusing on diagnosing what's wrong with everybody else in the room. You never do that, no. To understanding that humanness means we're all operating from a place of trying to get our needs met. Sometimes in weird and wacky ways, yes, but that's what we're trying to do. It's our humanity trying to get its needs met. And so what this awareness does is it moves us into spiritually knowing that there are no rights and no wrongs. There are no rights and no wrongs. There's just us poor humans trying to get our needs met in weird ways. Okay, so what do we know? Divine humans, we've been maneuvered and indoctrinated into a certain way of operating through believing that we can get our needs met through the denial of the divine, the denial of God, the belief in separation, and the guilt is the correct way to get our needs met. And so despite all of that, we know everyone is God in skin. But here's an interesting one that just blew me away. Nonviolent communication is asking us to take it a step further. It's asking us to realize that other people's behaviors isn't the cause of our feelings. What did she just say? Here's what he says. Feelings can be used in a destructive way if we try to imply that other people's behaviors are the cause of our feelings. This cause of our feelings is not other people's behaviors, it's our needs. Mic drop, right? Mic drop. So I'm going to leave you with that because I think that's just profound. You know, I always understood that, it's not the people, it's their behaviors. I'm like, I don't like that behavior, right? And now we're taking it deeper. We're taking it to a new level. Responsibility lies where? Yep. Okay, so this week you're going to continue practicing your giraffe language. You're going to use calm practices so that you know how to manage when you're emotionally triggered. Yes? Okay, good. And then I'm here to remind you that you have the power to deactivate your triggers. You have the power to move into neutrality. You have the power that everyone you connect with walks away in peace and feeling respected and loved. Namaste.
To hear I surrender my will today. Use me as you please, as you please. No longer will I hide from you. I'll stand in my spirit and my truth. Even when I'm far from you, we are united in this moment, me and you, me and you. My heart was broken, but now it's open. No guards up in your presence. I'm listening for your voice. I really need to hear a word from you. Yes. I don't have to be anyone else but me when I'm with you. You're the only one who knows what I go through. Not my will, but your will be done in my life as you please. Will I hide from you? Yes, my spirit and my truth. Even when I'm far from you, we are united. Me and you. No longer will I hide from you. I reveal myself to my spirit and my truth. I will be honest with my worship, even when I'm far, just like the prodigal son. We are united, united in this moment. No longer will I hide from you. No mask in your presence. I will stand in my spirit and my truth. I'll be naked and ashamed, even when I've done wrong. We are united. We are united with you. Hey, no. You healed my heart. Now I give it to you. No longer hiding. I wanna be real with you. I'm waiting. I'm desperate for your voice. Speak to me now. I won't let it go until you bless my soul. Yeah. Only you know the real me. Yeah. Behind closed doors, you see the real me. I cast aside my crown. I'm humbled in your presence. Use me as you please. Use me as you please. 'Cause my heart is open.
Amazing. Thank you. Danny, you're missing out. I'm sorry. You should have been here. Okay, I'm done now. Celebration, I just adore you. Thank you. If you're ready, I know your heart is open by that song. Use me, God, right? All right, so let's just take that nice, beautiful, deep breath in and exhale. Once again, focusing on your heart chakra area as you breathe, being the love. Slow, deep breaths in and out. Bring a sense of appreciation for someone, something, and feel that love just blossom inside. And feel that love pushing out energetically to all around, to everyone in this sanctuary, pushing out beyond these walls into Austin. As you repeat after me, may I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy. Bring someone to mind who you may not be a big fan of, but your heart is open and you are honoring the truth that everyone is of divinity and there is only oneness. And repeat after me. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. Keep focused on your heart chakra and breathing in and through that energy force. As you think of everyone in this community, may we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy. Still focused on your breathing. In and out through your heart energy force. And affirming this truth. I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. Continue to breathe. Take a moment in the silence to affirm this truth. And at the sound of my voice, bring your energy, your consciousness back to this sacred space and time. Feel the chair beneath you. Feel your feet on Mother Earth. Take a nice, deep, cleansing breath in and exhale. And affirm, all is well. Namaste, my friends.
Sorry about that.
Hold on.
See?
Sorry. So the song we were just about to sing is called Don't Let Your Lights Go Out. So the song is referencing basically your spiritual light and what you need to do to keep connected and not let that spiritual light be extinguished, which is a good segue into our offering. We also need to keep the lights on here. So, so there are a myriad of ways to contribute. You can do it through text, you can do it through crypto, Bitcoin, Cash App, Venmo, coins, dollar bills. There's a cacophony of ways, a variety, a smorgasbord of ways. So check your screen. If you're watching online, you can also send a text as well to the number that's on your screen. So if the ushers will start that process, now we will indulge you with a song.
Whatever you do,
right. Ooh, yes. I'm a honey, honey, honey. Okay. So we just know that these gifts are such a blessing to our community. We see them multiplying not only here, but for all the givers, and see it doing wondrous things in Austin, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. So you notice I haven't been up dancing. My hands have been going, but my knees are hurting today. So I'm not going to be on the line, but I'll be in my office, which is just go out that way and around. So if you want to chit-chat with me or connect with me, come find me there, okay? Love you guys. Thank you.
So, our closing announcements. The praying chaplains will be in the chapel. If you've never experienced it, I encourage you to go and do it. If you're online with us, then call the number on your screen. That's a silent unity number, and you'll get through to a praying chaplain from there. Okay, we are offering a new member class via hybrid Zoom and in person, so you can participate either Zoom or in person. You can swap 1 week Zoom, 1 week in person. It's for 3 weeks starting October 9th. And if you're interested in becoming a member of UTOH, you need to take the class because that's one of the requirements of becoming a member. Or if you just want to explore our teachings of what Unity's belief system is, come to the class and you'll get to find out about it. It's 3 weeks, and we look forward to getting to know you better and supporting you on your spiritual journey, and you register on the website unityhills.org. It is that time of year again. It's Gala Time, and October 30th, Halloween costumes. I'm just saying. Yes, Reverend Rhea has got her costume. Well, it's in the mail. Hasn't arrived yet. And so early birds, if you buy your tickets before October 18th, you can get 2 tickets for $50. That's $25 each. After that, they're going to be $30. Also on the website, you buy them on the website. Also on the website is sponsorship opportunities. So if you want your name in lights, either personal or business, go there and see if you want to sponsor the gala event as well as buying a ticket. There is also guardian tickets, guardian angel tickets. So what you can do is you can buy extra tickets. They go to the office and they get donated to somebody in need who wants to come, who can't afford the money. It's true. So our fundraising goal for the year is $25,000. Now, church, are you up for the challenge and the manifestation? Better response next week, please. I'm not going to read out the evening itinerary to you because it is very long. There's loads of stuff. There's Italian cuisine, catered, selfie wall, live music performances. Reverend Rhea and Frank Phelan will also speak. They've only been allocated 10 minutes. There's a live auction, karaoke, and Tammy Schwartz is going to be out in the foyer. Sitting at the table, so you can ask her. She's part of the organizing committee. It's only $25 to see what the Reverend and the staff have got as their costumes. Just saying. Anyway, next Sunday. Next Sunday, it says feelings are blessings. It doesn't say all feelings. But I think that's the implication. What if we understood that our feelings are our responsibilities? No more criticism, no more blame, and no more guilt. Yes, this is possible. Yes, absolutely it is. So you want freedom, then connect with Rev Cherie next Sunday as she shares the keys to living your best life. Let's all say the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is swell.